Hello chickies and welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. Today we are doing my final edit and a map. Woo! Big steps up. So let's begin, shall we? So I'm here at my computer. If you can hear the computer, it's working. So my editor actually got back to me. She opened her schedule early because she got through it. She soldiered on through. So she was open to edit my manuscript early. So it's not even August yet and I have my manuscript back. So today we're going to go through her edits and pretty much accept and do a final read through myself. To be honest, I was having a tough time with some imposter syndrome stuff the moment I sent off my manuscript to my editor. I was like, wait, is my book actually horrible? I realized once I got it back that maybe I may have accidentally had a different version, like an earlier draft in mind, because that's all I could think of. And then I briefly went through the edits the other day and I was like, oh, wait, I love this book. Anyways, but it was helped partially because my editor was like, I love this book, 5 stars for me. It's a book that will stay with her for a long time. And I'm like, wow, that's one more person that liked my book. That's validation. My goodness. Anyway, so I have my manuscript here, all 336 pages of it. That's unformatted, so we shall see what it ends up as. But I think a lot of my issues were, well, for one, I kept spelling Lent as L-E-N-T, which is a religious event. And then I just have a few comments. And then I've also forgotten to hyphenate a few, like, adjective phrases. But otherwise, I think that's it. So we're going to go through my book once more. I mean, it won't be the last time. I will get the book and then I will reread through it to make sure all the formatting and stuff is done. Look, by the time this book is finally published, hopefully I have this version in my head instead of an earlier draft, but we shall see. So here's what's been happening. I have bought a new computer, and that's exciting stuff because that means that I can now get into formatting my book, ready to go off to print and get the template for my book cover artist. Here's the thing. I'm just slightly stressed. I think I've bitten off a little more than I could chew. All at once. I wanted to be doing everything all at once. And the thing is, I can't do everything all at once, believe it or not. I'm a chronic illness girly who doesn't have that kind of energy in reserve, and stress and overwhelming makes my battery drop so quickly. So quickly. I was trying to set up my author website. I was trying to get all my programs ready. I was trying to set up all the accounts I need for the like publishing, self-publishing. Learn how to set it all up. I was trying to find ISBNs. I was trying to discover whether I needed all manner of things, and it was just too much. I tried to sit down and do it 2 days. And I got stuff done, but it was stressing me out and it was just so draining. I think I did a couple hours each day and I was just like, because the problem with self-publishing is that the writing and the editing and the getting the book, I find quite easy. I did that quite happily. It was a joy to do, but I'm not good at marketing and doing all the other stuff. I learned how to do it, but not direct steps, as I've discussed previously. And so I'm learning new programs, and it's not fun. So I am going to have to sit down and do more learning programs, like just watch videos on how people have set up their stuff and things like that. But I'll be completely honest, I need to focus on one thing at a time. And what is that, you may ask? Well, good question. Here's the thing, you hear different things like, I want to be in control of my Amazon account rather than just hand it all over to Ingram Spark. But I don't know if you can do that through Ingram Spark or whether you need to do it separately. And then I've heard that if you do it separately, you have to send off the files to Amazon first and then immediately after do the Ingram Spark. But if I want to pre-order stuff, probably that's not the way to go, you know? But I hear that Ingram Spark and Amazon are having a bit of a tiff, so sometimes the Ingram Spark doesn't work very well. And as for a website, that's just a whole other stress. I know that my website can be very simple, straightforward, and that's really all I'm going for, but I don't want it to look so simple that you're like, oh, this is a bit questionable. You know, I want it to look professional, even when it's simple. So really, I'm just completely stressed out. I do have my friend on my logo for my author persona, my pen name, which I am publishing under my pen name. I'm like, do I need a publishing name or a thing? And I just was like, no, let's just do it under my pen name. It's just simpler, and I'm sure if I got really popular, a publishing name would be good, but the name I thought of was already in use, and so I was like, who cares? That was one more thought to the process that I just couldn't do. Here's the thing, I kind of want to announce my author pen name, but also I don't want to do that until I have it all set up and claimed, because I don't want someone to come along and be like, oh, stuck your nose, like, what if they do? I'm not that popular, but what if they do? I think I'm daunted by new things, and it's just too many new things at once. And as I told my friends and that, it's just because it's the first time through. Once I have everything set up and I've already got the first one up claimed under that name, beautiful, then I can go on from there. But it's just getting to that point. I feel like I already have to have all my files finalized and uploaded before I can be like, okay, here it is. But in order to sell yourself, you need to be marketing. And I'm not sure. I could just try. But marketing is another thing that would add to the stress because, you know, I'm just overwhelmed at the moment. And so the one thing that is keeping me grounded and feeling like not throwing in the towel is I'm working on my next work in progress. Because I was just like, I need the writing side of things. I'm not quite ready to do the editing phase with book 2, but I need to be writing because that will ground me again. So I've been working on my next work in progress, and it is so much fun. That is why, as a writer, like, I just want to be a writer. I don't want to be a designer, marketing, social media. I don't want to do all that stuff. But as a self-publisher, and even as a traditional publisher, you need to be doing all that. Like, if I knew I was going to get paid enough, I would hire someone to do it for me. That's a very small percent of authors and writers ever get into that stage where they can do that. And I'm not. I'm not. I think it doesn't help that life really be getting me down recently. So badly. It's so down. And then you add more stress on, and I'm just, yeah.
I feel like a good cry nowadays. It got me again, to be honest. It usually stems from something happening, and then I just go down a rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole was induced by stress because I'm trying to keep myself busy, but also life, you know? I think with like social media, I want to be genuine. And I know there are other genuine people on there, but genuine stuff doesn't seem to sell. You know, like if I set up a post saying let's connect, I would want to connect with anyone who commented and was genuinely back and forthing with me. So I feel like I should be engaging with their stuff, but that takes time. But I don't want to expect engagement without giving in engagement. But I don't have that kind of energy around. That would be a full-time job. And then I find I put effort into things and it's sort of like you don't get the same engagement back. And so I'm like I am genuinely interested in your stuff, but if I'm going to be making this work, I need engagement back. You know, and that just seems entirely disingenuous to me, the whole thing. So, I don't know. And then, of course, you have to get into typesetting, which is copyrighted. Some of the typesets you find in programs is actually copyrighted material, and so you have to buy the license in order to use it. So then you have to go into different places to find free font. The font is technically different from the typeset, but you know, a lot of people would call it font. You have to, with those fonts, you have to buy them unless they're the free to use ones. And so you have to find one that's free to use but looks pretty, and of course your different types would be different. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to find the certain Garamond one, which is a serif font. I think I'm just going to use the free one of that because everyone uses it and so it's more simple. So you see, there's so many aspects. You think it's just upload your book with its cover, done. It's not how it goes, unfortunately. You know? Unfortunately, it's not that straightforward. What I'm trying to say is I have to be like a sports team. I have to make a game plan, and like an army, an attack strategy, because attacking everything at once doesn't seem to be working. There's no breakthroughs. I'm just losing troops. The troops are lost. They're just the brain power troops, that is. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is watch some tutorials first. Affinity publisher tutorial. What I came in here to say is that I'm stressy, I'm depressy, and everything's too daunting for me. So, if anyone else out there is currently in the same position I am, please connect. Maybe we can support each other through this. The debut process I know is more is bigger than following books because I would have done it before, and I'm like, yeah, I have everything set up. I might even have a template, but at this point in time, nothing. So that's fun. We're gonna be studying. Study time. Woo! Send help. Thank you.
I'm here to check in again. Close up this video. So I have a little bit of an update. I have been working on the formatting of my paperback. I'm yet to do the ebook version, but work on the paperback first. And everything's coming back. Well, not everything. I'm sure I've forgotten stuff, but working in the program, using Dr. Google when I need a little bit of help and some tutorials on the YouTubes. It's slowly coming back, little bits and pieces. So my paperback is pretty much all like formatted out. I still have to do a few things like making sure the masters are blank on the chapter pages, and yeah, whether I want to do any art on the chapter pages. I'm feeling like no, I'm thinking just simple is best. If I end up doing hardbacks as like a special release later on, I can do that, but at the moment I think just having it readable and fine is okay. And so little things are coming back to me, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I do get a little hyper focused though. Turns out formatting, totally a hyper focus moment, because I may have sat down at my computer and just forgotten to eat for a day. I think I got there, you know, in my morning time, whether it was like 9:30 or something, and sorry if you can hear the train, and then I realized at 4:30 I hadn't eaten anything. So I need to be careful not to hyperfocus anymore, because that's not good for chronic illness health, supposedly. The ebook will be easier to format because you don't have to think about which side the margin is on and all that. I did have a little trouble with margins on the book paperback version because I may have already formatted it and then I realized there was an easier way to make sure the margins were the right way around. For Ingram Spark, they don't like spreads, so you have to do it page by page, but if you use the page, you have to use masters in order to make sure that the margin is on the right side. You know, the thicker margin for the spine. So I had to go through manually aligning it with the new margin, but it's okay. It wasn't too bad. It was just extra work that could have been solved if I'd formatted the masters first and then dragged the text in, but I had formatted the text before I went in, and I was like, I'm not redoing all that, so manual it is. It wasn't too bad. It was just an extra step that I could have avoided and can avoid going forward. So it's just finalizing front matter and back matter that I have to do. I have to make my map now, which I know I was going to do in this video, but I might just cut out those bits and do that in the next video. So you might have clips from ages ago for the next video where we make a map. Oh, by the way, it's over 300 pages. For a girl who doesn't read many books over 300 pages. Turns out she's written one that's longer. It's under 400 though, so it's okay, but I wasn't really expecting that many. But when you think about it, I've been writing on A4 pieces of paper, and now it's smaller. It's an Australian paperback, which is kind of nice in the hand feel, so you can't fit as many words in a page, or as many lines in a page as an A4 sheet of paper, obviously. Also, I looked up fonts. I think I found the fonts I like. I think we're settled on that, but we'll see. Once I get the illustration back from my artist, then I can make a final decision on, you know, what font I want to use. And I will use that same font going forward, so it's all connected. And then my best friend is making the little logo I want associated with my name. It's just a little logo. So I can put it on the bottom of the spine and it can all line up. And then a whole heap of stuff. But for the moment, formatting paperback, I actually did it. I was completely overwhelmed in the earlier clips. And I still am a little bit, but focusing on formatting out the paperback was a wise decision because I love it. I enjoy it. And now I can send off the correct dimensions to my cover artist when she asked. Again, I'll have to clarify how many pages it is, but I think it's just under 400. I think it's 392 is what I'm trying to finalize on. 392 pages. Of course, some of that is front matter, back matter, blank page because things fall on the wrong thing. You know, I'm still up in the air about Amazon and Ingram Sparks, whether to do Amazon on my own or Ingram Sparks on my own, just Ingram Sparks. That's probably another thing I'll be looking up tutorials to a little later on. But for now, formatting almost done. And template for the artist pretty much done. I've got one. So if she asks and I haven't completed everything by then, I'll send that one across because it's roughly the same. It's roughly going to be correct. So. But other than that, I think I'm done with this video. I gotta get it up, tell you guys the updates. The level of stress is slightly decreased. I am still having nightmares though because the stress is obviously still there. But it's not as bad as last time I filmed. Yeah, the only other thing I mentioned in this was my next work in progress, and I think I mentioned it. And I finished the chapter for this week. I did that. So my chapter a week is still going on. Because I said I was going to use it to finish book 2, or the first draft of book 2, and I did. And so now on to the next project. And I finished my chapter for the week. So I'm feeling pretty great. I just love flexing my writing side on top of all the stressful / other side of the brain. There's creative brain, work in progress, and then there's all the editing, formatting, which is a tiny bit of creative brain, but mostly logical. But this is where I'm going to leave this episode of Writing Nook. We're getting there. We're making progress. I'm sorry I haven't shown you much. I've just been speaking to you about it, but it is all part of the journey. So wish me luck. Again, next time we'll be making map, and hopefully we'll see when I get my stuff off to my artist, whether I showcase that as well. Otherwise it'll be map making and front matter, back matter, ebook formatting. Anyway. So that's all from me for now. I hope you all keep writing, reading, creating, and I shall see you all in the next video. Until then, peace.
티니 로그 끝.